All right, let's dive straight into the Ultimate Secret Wars breakdown. So picture this, we're looking at a monumental shift in cinematic storytelling, and it's all building up to this inevitable, absolute clash between our greatest hero and the ultimate villain. I mean, we all remember witnessing the snap in Endgame, right? Sitting there in the absolute dead silence of the theater, feeling the profound, crushing weight of Tony Stark's sacrifice. But what I'm going to map out for you today is the startling cinematic truth that this sacrifice, it wasn't the end of a story. No, it was actually the crucial inciting incident for an epic confrontation that is going to completely shatter and redefine literally everything we know. I'm going to meticulously lay out the exact sequence of events, the hidden visual clues left right in front of us, and the staggering cosmic implications of what happens when an unstoppable force finally meets an immovable, tyrannical god. So look, we really need to understand that the end of Tony Stark was actually just the beginning of a much larger reality-bending collision course. Usually when we think about Tony's death, we think of it as, a definitive conclusion. It brought peace to the universe, done deal. But in the grand calculus of reality, the sheer, unadulterated energy of the Infinity Stones ringing out across the cosmos, it acted like a multiversal dinner bell. His actions set off a massive chain reaction. His war isn't over, because the universe he fought so incredibly hard to protect is about to face a threat that makes everything before it look entirely insignificant. I really need you to completely reframe our understanding of his passing. Don't look at it as a final rest. Look at it as a strategic hibernation, a cosmic cocooning, if you will, required to prepare for the real ultimate endgame.
Part 1. The Fall to Doctor Doom.
Now, to fully understand exactly how Iron Man returns, we've got to intimately explore the absolute void that demands his resurrection in the first place. We are entering the era of Doomsday, folks. And listen, Doom doesn't do anything without a terrifyingly precise, almost surgical methodology. Step 1, he doesn't just fight Earth's protectors. He systematically dismantles them, breaking the very pillars of the Avengers and wiping out the fantastic beings of the multiverse. Then, step 2, from the fragmented, bleeding pieces of these destroyed universes, he physically forges a brand new domain just by sheer force of will. And step 3, man, this is the most chilling visual you can imagine. He completely overwrites existence itself. He doesn't just conquer the board. He burns the whole thing down to the molecular level and builds a completely new one where he is the sole undisputed author of reality. I want you to really picture what Battleworld actually is. It's a desolate, inescapable planetary prison where doom reigns supreme over the ashes of the multiverse. Seriously, imagine gazing up at a sky that is literally stitched together from the bleeding edges of completely different, conflicting universes. Like, you might look out over a dystopian, irradiated wasteland, and it violently borders a magical medieval kingdom. And it's all held together by nothing but Doom's absolute tyranny. Battleworld isn't a normal planet. It is a terrifying Frankenstein creation. It's a physical monument to absolute victory, constructed literally from the dead corpses of alternate realities. Every single territory on this planet is just a trapped remnant locked in a perpetual state of subjugation. Part 2. Erasing the Marvel Universe. Okay, so building a prison planet is one thing, right? But keeping the most powerful beings in the multiverse docile, that requires a level of psychological warfare far more insidious than just physical chains. Think back, and I know it hurts, but think back to the sheer, visceral heartbreak of Peter Parker losing his identity in No Way Home. We all felt the absolute devastation of that purple magic wiping Peter from the collective memory of the world, severing every single tie of love and history he ever had. Now I want you to conceptually take that incredibly intimate, painful magical erasure and multiply it by infinity. Doom initiates a universal wipe. Basically a multiversal lobotomy. He neutralizes the threat of rebellion by making sure that nobody remembers who they were, what they fought for, or the tragedies they've endured. It is an absolute, suffocating erasure of the self. I mean, just imagine the god of thunder reduced to a total blank slate. That's right, even literal gods like Thor and Loki will have their minds completely wiped, losing every single memory of their glorious histories. We are talking about immortal beings here, entities that have lived for thousands of years, who possess magic and might totally beyond human comprehension, steeped in the deep lore of Asgard and the Nine Realms. And yet beneath Doom's overwhelming reality manipulation, centuries of history are erased in a fraction of a second. Imagine Thor, entirely unaware of Asgard, entirely devoid of his royal heritage, just marching around as a mere foot soldier. It really highlights the terrifying magnitude of the power Doom is wielding right now. He isn't just manipulating mortals, he is actively blinding the divine. Because of this, we're going to watch these incredibly powerful superheroes completely reduced to mere servants. They'll be unquestioningly working under Doom because in their erased minds, he is the only deity that has ever existed. Contrast this with Thanos for a second. Thanos was a zealot, right? He believed he was performing a horrific but mathematical necessity to bring balance. Doom is entirely different. Doom's hubris demands absolute worship. Because he has erased every other truth, he inserts himself as the absolute genesis of reality. To the Avengers, to the gods, to the citizens of Battleworld, Doctor Doom is the one true god. They serve him not out of fear, but out of a deeply implanted, manufactured religious devotion. And that is the ultimate, unbreakable psychological cage. Part 3. The Mystery of Tony Stark. Now, amidst this completely hopeless dystopian reality, there is a massive, lingering cinematic mystery that genuinely changes everything. Let's look really closely at the aftermath of our hero's ultimate sacrifice back in Endgame. We saw the beautiful, quiet memorial by the lake. We saw the wreath with the proof that Tony Stark has a heart. We saw the camera slowly pan across every single hero standing there in silent mourning. But notice what the camera actively avoided. We did not see a casket. We never once saw his physical remains actually committed to the earth. And let me tell you, in cinematic storytelling, especially when you're dealing with this staggering level of detail, what a director omits is often way more important than what is actually shown. This omission isn't just a stylistic choice, guys. It is a massive, flashing neon sign pointing directly toward a hidden truth. I am fully convinced that this glaring omission means Pepper Potts made a calculated, truly desperate decision to hide and keep Tony's body entirely safe from the inevitable cosmic fallout. Think about it. Pepper isn't just a grieving widow. She wore the rescue armor. She intimately understood Tony's deep-seated paranoia, his futurist mindset, and exactly the kind of multiversal targets he had just painted on his own back by wielding the stones. It makes absolute narrative sense that she would secure his physical vessel, placing it somewhere completely off the grid, hidden away from magical detection, hidden from advanced technology, and crucially, hidden from the all-seeing eyes of whoever might rise to power next. She preserved the vessel in absolute secrecy. Part 4. Franklin and Cosmic Revival. So, with Doom reigning as a god and the universe trapped in this amnesic nightmare, a standard Avengers rescue mission is entirely impossible. You can't just fight a reality warper with repulsor blasts alone. You need an equal and opposite cosmic force. And that brings us to Franklin Richards. Franklin isn't just a superhero. He is a cosmic architect. He's a being whose very thoughts literally become universal law. He possesses reality warping abilities that rival and honestly even surpass the sheer might of the gods Doom has subjugated. When you are dealing with a villain who can rewrite the fundamental laws of existence, Franklin is the ultimate cheat code. He is a literal creator of universes, the one individual capable of looking at Doom's patchwork reality and fundamentally rejecting it. I want you to really feel the weight of this breathtaking, almost mythological moment. Picture Franklin channeling his godlike abilities to reach across the dark void and revive the one man who can stand against Doom. When all hope fades in secret wars, Franklin Richards will locate that hidden, perfectly preserved vessel. Using his glowing, reality-altering energy, he doesn't just wake someone up from a coma. No, he reaches across the threshold of death itself. He pulls a soul back through the cosmos, breathing life back into the ultimate engineer who sacrificed absolutely everything. It's an intervention of purely divine proportions. But we really need to realize something crucial here. What Franklin brings back, it isn't exactly what died on that battlefield. Because after wielding the Infinity Stones, Tony's body didn't just passively rest. It was fundamentally elevated into a pure cosmic state. Think about the physical toll we saw on screen. The sheer, unadulterated energy of all 6 stones surging through a mortal frame. Sure, it was enough to kill him, but that kind of unfathomable power leaves a permanent, indelible cosmic signature. The snap irradiated his very cellular structure with the raw energy of creation itself. So when he's revived, he isn't brought back as just a regular human billionaire in a fancy metal suit. He's revived as a being whose physical form has reached a literal cosmic threshold. Iron Man is reborn fundamentally altered. He is permanently charged by the infinite. Part 5. The Ultimate Marvel Showdown. Alright, so we have the stage perfectly set, the bleeding, fractured skies of Battleworld. We have the villain, God Emperor Doom, entirely secure in his stolen divinity. And we have the challenger, a cosmically revived Iron Man. But I need to make this super clear. Our OG Iron Man is not returning simply to save the Avengers or heroically fix the fractured timeline. That is standard superhero business, and let's be real, we are operating way beyond that realm now. The Avengers don't even know they need saving. The multiverse as a concept has already been shredded to ash. Tony Stark's return is stripped of all the usual team-leading heroics. It is intensely focused. He's returning as a lone, darker, cosmic entity, executing a singular, violent necessity. His resurrection is laser focused on one legendary purpose: to directly challenge and defeat God Emperor Doom, completely shattering Battleworld's illusion once and for all. This right here is the ultimate thematic clash. It's the futurist versus the tyrant. One man constantly builds suits of armor to shield the world, the other violently subjugates the world to shield himself. Doom truly believes he is the one true God, reigning over a reality of his own flawless design. But Stark? Powered by the cosmic residue of the Infinity Stones and revived by literal godlike intervention, he represents the ultimate disruption to Doom's perfect sterile system. Stark is the ghost in the machine, coming back to dethrone a false god and tear down that patchwork prison planet piece by piece. Just picture the impending visual spectacle of this absolute collision. Iron Man, glowing with raw cosmic resonance, piercing the stitched impossible atmosphere of Battleworld to literally strike down a god. We're looking at a battle that completely transcends physical blows. It's a war over the fundamental right to author reality itself. On one side, you have God Emperor Doom, armed with the stolen, overwhelming might of the multiverse. On the other, a cosmically empowered Iron Man, pulled back from the dead with a singular, unyielding mission. So I have to ask you, when these two unmatched forces finally collide, the shockwaves will redefine the very fabric of cinematic storytelling. But what happens to Battleworld? What happens to the erased memories of our favorite heroes? When this ultimate secret war finally ignites the screen, what kind of universe could possibly survive the fallout?